we go with attempt number 3. The first time I was talking to myself for about a minute without recording. The second time I got most everything I wanted to get out. However, the wind was blowing outside and it just wasn't very pleasant to listen to. So, in an effort to make this digestible, useful to someone else other than just me, and I don't know, maybe these are all only for just me, but they're useful in that regard to verbalize some of the things that are on my mind. But I wanted to say, if you're like me, you have been working really hard for me for the past 2.5, going on 3 years, on myself, on my spiritual progression, my growth, my understanding of myself, the universe around me, just working to not just distance myself from paradigms and beliefs that I no longer feel are valid, no longer feel are helpful, but also building something new, coming to a new understanding. I never felt comfortable with just a void. Some people do. But searching for things that I felt were good, were helpful, were illuminating. So I've been working at that. I spent a year by myself without my family, and that was an intense time to work on myself. Really good time, grateful for it. Since I've come back to the United States from working abroad, I've realized, and that's the reason I've made this video this morning, is I've realized just how much I have, and it's not a bad thing, come to depend on my lovely wife. I love her very much. She is a good helper in so many ways. She causes me to stretch. She challenges my ways of thinking. She isn't necessarily a cheerleader, just cheering, just saying things that make me feel good, but she will challenge my thoughts. Sometimes she'll agree with me, and a lot of times she won't. But she's always a stalwart supporter and encourager, and I always know I can ask her for her opinions, and she'll give me honest answers. She's just a strong person. She's had her own times when she's needed me, but she's a very strong person, and that's been something I've really enjoyed, and I enjoy it every day. So when we decided that she would go and visit my son and daughter-in-law and help them with a move and a transition in their lives, it was kind of a mixed bag. I really appreciated it. I know that they'll enjoy it and benefit from it. She'll enjoy it. But I knew that it would create a bit of a hole in my daily routine and in my life. At least it's just temporary, right? So it's not the end of the world. Nothing's really going to happen that's bad. It's just a little bit of a pause and a time to think over how I'm taking on life, how I'm interfacing with my life and the things that appear in my day-to-day reality, and this day-to-day matrix that we create somehow. Don't quite understand all of the ins and outs of it. So here we are. She left yesterday on the plane, And I could feel that emotional gap. And my daughter, who's 19, who's a great friend and just a wonderful person, she's not able to fill that. Nor she performs other functions in my life, and not that everybody's just performing for me. She's a wonderful person, and my wife's a wonderful person, and they have their lives and their goals and everything else. But of course, everyone plays a role in everyone else's lives. And so my daughter, although she's wonderful, she fixed a wonderful dinner last night, and we had fun together. But this morning, as I woke up, I didn't have my wife there. She's usually in bed asleep. She likes to sleep in, and I'm an early riser, but it's always comforting to have her there as I wake up and go about my morning routines, and then to have her there as the day goes on, and just that stalwart force that she is, and so on. So not having that there this morning, I just didn't feel like I was it wasn't normal. I normally get up and go right outside, let the cats out, and we just enjoy watching the sun start to rise, and I sit on my little piece of grass in the backyard that's largely unfinished, and I just think about the day. I write down notes about the day and any inspiration I feel. Sometimes if it's, I'll share it here if I feel it's a particularly helpful information for me. And this morning that didn't happen because it just felt so different. It felt kind of empty in a way. And so looking for something to fill me up, I tried to do some meditation, and I think it being the morning, it's not as easy sometimes because I keep thinking about the things coming up in the day. So I turned to YouTube, and I've listened to a lot of people over the years, some of which I really enjoy, and others that are just kind of passing through and I don't really connect with, or I'm doubtful as to the information they're sharing and where it's coming from. So I try to be selective. The last few weeks, however it works, whether it's just source directing to different people, or because I've never heard of them before, or some combination of, the universe and the algorithms. I don't know. There's a part of skepticism in me that is probably good, and some that's probably not helpful, that kind of keeps me from just trusting in some of the things that I should trust in. But at any rate, I've listened to this, I've forgotten it, Divinely Aligned, I think. It's someone named Courtney up in Canada. Anyway, she's exuberant, fun to listen to. She's got a lot of good messages she channels. But this morning, it was almost like it was too much. Everything I would listen to was kind of too much. So as I was turning things off and just thinking, okay, let me just go outside, ground myself. I need to get going anyway. One of her videos that was 10 days old that I hadn't heard, but I just thought, kind of old news. It just started playing, and almost immediately it caught my attention because what the message she was channeling was to the effect, you've consumed enough. You've listened to enough, you've watched enough, you've heard from innumerable people. You know what you need to be doing. That was the message. And that's what I needed. The last 3 years have been life-changing, and I've consumed a lot of great content. But there's definitely some times, and this morning, today, without my wife, the next few weeks is one of them where I think I really need to just dig in, find myself again, reconnect on a new level with the universe, with my higher self. I'm trying to level up, as they say, and take a look at the elements that make up my life that are both good and those that are not what I really want, and look at them through different eyes and trust that it will change in ways that the universe will choose that will be for my best good and probably much better than I could ever construct. So there we go. If you're anything like me, sometimes you consume too much and you just need to sit back and work with yourself and allow Source to work with you.